All right, everyone please wave. All right. Affordable clothing is one of the many hallmarks of our great capitalist society, as its very presence shows that we have succeeded in creating a great economic distribution. Isn't it great you can go to a store and get a sweater for like $20, such as one of these great sweaters, or even a shirt for $5, like one of these, and you can save your money and buy other things, like whatever else you want that you might not even need in the first place. Well, this is only possible, affordable clothing is only possible due to the fact that there's a cut of cost in manufacturing. And this cut of cost in manufacturing comes from the fact that we pay the manufacturing workers less, and also because we expose these workers to unsafe working conditions. And we have to consider why we sort of allow this to happen and what exactly makes these working conditions not very good. Part of it is because they're exposed to chemicals that are bad to be in, and also because they're not paid enough to ever get out of poverty. And we also, understanding this, we have to question why the U.S. even became involved in one of these sort of trades and why we sort of allow sweatshops to even happen in general. And part of this actually stems from something called the Multi-Fiber Agreement of 1974. And today, I would like to explain what the Multi-Fiber Agreement was and how it came to be and exactly what its effects are now that it's not here anymore. So the Multi-Fiber Agreement of 1974, according to PlanB4Fashion.com, was written specifically to control rapid changes in the textile trade, allowing developed countries to adjust to imports from developing countries. So really the agreement was between developed nations like the UK and the US. We were going to start trying to buy our clothes from developing nations. And this was all done under the guise that it would help these nations. And this makes sense because, you give your money to nations and you think it would profit their businesses and whatnot. And according to commonobjective.com, fashion is an important vehicle for development as it helps these countries industrialize. So our idea was we're going to get some businesses over there and it might overall help those economies out over there. However, the real reason why the U.S. was involved in the MFA was not exactly to help these countries, but part of what makes that kind of bad is what the results of the MFA were. And really, something you have to understand about these underdeveloped countries is that they lack a welfare state. And part of what a welfare state means is that they guarantee the rights of workers be met. And without a welfare state, and also considering that manufacturing is highly labor intensive, so it's strenuous work on the people, you can kind of see how without a welfare state and with also the kind of job that is needed in manufacturing, you can see why these nations were hosts to the manufacturing workshop, because they're the ones willing to do the work in these manufactories. And so all these manufacturers get set up in underdeveloped nations because they understand that the work can be met there. And this is easily seen in how a lot of people in these underdeveloped nations even got involved with them. According to the International Labor Organization, 6.6% of Nepalese are involved in manufacturing. And considering one of the other job demographic in Nepal is basically subsistence farming, you can see why a lot of Nepal would get involved in sweatshops, because it's either that or the subsistence farming. So it's not guaranteed jobs really at all. And so I understand that the US wasn't exactly there to stimulate the economies, but really to sort of just buy the cheap clothing. You do have to kind of consider what it is for these economies when the US pulls out of their market. So in 2004, the Multi-Fiber Agreement ends. And with that, the US support for a lot of these countries ends up pulling out. And the US now only wants to buy clothes from where they can get the cheapest clothes from. Some countries like China and Bangladesh have their own sources of cotton, so they get to sell clothes for pretty good prices still. However, countries like Nepal, who don't have their own sources of cotton, can only sell at the prices they can, and it's not good enough for the US. According to Britannica.com, foreign trade and balance of payments have suffered serious setbacks, exports not increased for imports of consumer goods and basic supplies. So Nepal can never make up for how they were already selling to the US, and since they had all these industries already there working with people, those industries had to close down because there was no one to sell to. The US was the one they were selling to, but the US going to China and Bangladesh now. All these Nepal manufacturers had to close down. And with all those people, and with all the industries leaving in Nepal, all these people were left jobless in Nepal. So they had to go where the jobs were, meaning Nepal lost a lot of their workforce. So Nepal lost a lot of their population. The worst part of their problem with the population they lost, though, was the fact that this was their workforce. So these were the people willing to work, and now they were forced to relocate. And so we can see how the Multi-Fiber Agreement kind of affects us severely, exactly like how it brought a lot of these jobs here, and how now, without it, there was no guarantee these people were going to be able to work there. So Today, I explained what the multi-fiber agreement was, how it came to be, and also its effect of how it's now not here anymore. And I know we all love cheap clothing. It's great that we can buy clothes for fair prices and whatnot, but we have to understand that it's only cheap because the people making it were not paid well enough at all. And that's the only reason it's available at the prices that are, because the people who should have been paid decent wages like we are paid here when we get made clothes are not the same over there. And people over there are pretty much abused for the work they do. Thank you all for listening to my speech, and I hope you consider that when you go out and buy some clothes. All right, let me show my notes. Let me just go around. No cheating. No cheating here. Look at that. It's my last one. All right, and here's second, then a third one. There you go.
It's like I don't participate.
All right.
I'm buying.
Thank you.